Good morning, everyone. Let us know if you
Good
hear
morning.
us and see us clearly.
Boy, it's a bunch of you guys on that day.
Yeah,
Y'all
let me
ready? I can
let
see
me get
that.
my banners out of the way here, and we'll get started. And let's see who was the early bird this morning. Let's see who it was. My sister and brother-in-law. Ha ha! They were the early birds today. And then there's Dee Dee and George. Good morning, you
George,
guys.
Dion,
Good morning, Sandra,
Sandra,
Apostle Norman, Laverne
Lorna,
and Johnny, you
Laverne.
guys still praying with Laverne and Johnny? I do believe that they still need your prayers, and he is coming along, but he's not out of the woods. So please ramp up your prayers for them if you would. Brother Kessler, how are you this
Good to
morning?
see you.
Hey, Jill.
All of you guys.
Good to
Boy,
see you yesterday
I
on
mean,
the.
it's a football team right here today.
Yeah, it was good to see you yesterday on the conference or workshop that Yolanda and Oliver had, which was really good about vision. Good morning, Tanita. Tell your mommy hello. Hello, Morgan.
Morgan J.
Yes. Now, let's see. What am I doing?
Yeah,
There's Sinette. Hi, Sinette.
Jeanette.
All
Yeah,
the way
that
from
Jill.
Denmark.
That Jill Hilltop.
Yeah, I just spoke to
Yeah,
Jill.
I know. I just call her Jill. Jill
Jill
Hilltop.
Hilltop.
Yeah.
And there's Kim. Hey, sweetheart. How are you and mom and all of the
Kim.
rest of you doing?
Look at that. Come on.
Phyllis and Edward, good to see
Phyllis and
you on
Ed.
here
Yeah.
with us
You all.
today. Pearl, I saw your comment about impromptu on Thursday. Thank you for that. She said it was good.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you, Sissy. They're hearing us and seeing us good. Hello, Pat. Hope you're feeling well, Majari, my darling. Hope you're doing better. Edith Brown, good to see you this morning. And there's Deb Rondo. Deb Rondo, well, look, this is a good morning.
Edith Brown.
Oh,
That
Buzz just popped in.
Buzz. Good to see you, Buzz Joe.
And there's CJ praying for you still,
CJ,
CJ.
CJ
Praying for
Jr.
things to turn around for you. And then there's Brother
Brother
Blue.
Blue. Good to have you
Brother
again.
Blue. Yeah, good to have you. And I hope the family's doing well, Brother Blue.
Before we go into something, I know Miss Sharon Harrison may not be on here. She may come later. But
Mm-hmm.
you guys that have assisted us to help her with her passing mother, uh, we want to thank you guys for the compassion and the heart that you have had with us. Sister Sharon is going through something that one or two of us, or maybe all of you, have been through of losing a loved one, especially your mother. We want to send our heart prayer to them and to you guys who have helped us as we ventured into this. The eulogy will be tomorrow, and my wife will be helping out or doing
I'll be
the
doing the
program.
eulogy. Mm-hmm.
So my heart is with her and everybody. And I know Miss Sharon may be here this, later on. If not, you guys know it. Thank you all so much. Okay.
Yeah. So uh Didi said something here. She said we. What do you mean, Didi, when you say we? All right. Um,
Sometimes when she asks questions, I be looking for y'all to talk through the screen. I've been waiting for you to say something.
I know it. Well, and we'll have to set up a Zoom after we get past
Yeah.
all of this other stuff. And
Oh, I'm gonna tell you something. You smell good today.
I do.
Oh, you smell good all the time, but today is standing up there, girl.
Mm.
Ooh, look at you. Huh? You need some sugar. You need to be adjusted too. I tell you that.
Mm.
All right.
Mm.
Okay, let's go.
All right. I want to read something to you guys. It's called, and it's out of this book. You guys may have heard us mention it before. It's by Father. Let's see if I can get the reflection off of it. Father Richard Rohr, called "What the Mystics Know," and it's full of little paragraphs and excerpts from his sermons, I do believe, and they're little short readings, which makes it really easy to read it. But this particular section is about God is carrying me. So I haven't read it, but I wanted to read it to you guys this morning because I like that title this morning. Good morning, Keely. I was just thinking about you. I got to call you, young lady, and just let you know how much I love you. Um, God is carrying me. Allowing God to be our Lord is not something we can do as easily as believing this, doing that, attending this, or avoiding that. It is always a process of a lifetime, a movement toward union that will always feel like a loss of self-importance and autonomy. The private ego will resist and rationalize in every way that it can. My experience is that apart from suffering, failure, humiliation, and pain, none of us will naturally let go of our self sufficiency. We will think that our story is just about us. It isn't. My significance comes from whole I am in God, from who I am in God, who I am as part of a much larger whole. I am somehow a representative of God, and God is carrying me, both the good and the bad parts. I like that. That's good. That's good. And let's do our affirmation. I'm going to add it here. Let's do this. I want you to center in and let's acknowledge that we are and that God is by repeating after me, if you would. I am not this body, nor these thoughts, nor these feelings. I am consciousness itself. I am the background upon which all things appear. I am not any form, but I am the essence of all forms. I am the space between thoughts. This space, this place is where I live. I am always here. No one can touch me. No one can enter here where I am. Even my mind cannot enter here. I may forget who I am. I may forget where I am. But I cannot forget that I am. I am this knowing that knows that I am. And so it is. And so it is. All righty. We've had a couple come in since then. Thank you, Miss Pearl. She said, I always look gorgeous. I did something weird to my hair and it's just doing its own thing. David Singleton, good morning. Leslie, good morning, sweetheart. And then comes Brother Joe.
Joe, good talking to all of you.
I've been wearing my hair natural. You guys know that for a while. And so I decided, because it gets frizzy when it's humid, I decided I was going to put a little texturizer in it. And I have done that before, but my hair texture has changed. So when I did it, I left the texturizer in only 5 minutes and it came out bone straight. I don't have any more curls. So here we are. Here it is. Whatever. All right. What we talking about today?
Okay. I'm always intense to talk to you about reality, facts.
Mm-hmm.
I found out, and is still finding out more about us from the standpoint of our infinite self. And a lot of times when we talk about our infinity or the top of the line information about ourselves, some of us still will ask the question, but how do I get there? How do I get it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want what you're talking about, but I don't know how to get it. I've read and done everything. Now, what I'm going to try to attempt to do, I'm not going to try, I'm going to do it. One of the things that I misunderstood years ago was when I was over here in Exodus, the 33rd chapter, if you want to, it's okay. The Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto a friend. And when I was in the council chamber in the spirit world, Jesus was sitting down, that you heard me talk about, sitting down at a table that was immaculately made out of the breath of God. Now, there's some mystical terms that I'm using. I'm using the best that I can because, unlike most of you, have trouble finding words to describe the indescribable things of the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also talking to you through a vessel whose ears have been stopped up, and I don't understand why. If you want to pray with me, you can. If not, just keep hanging in there with me. It's not easy. It's very, very frustrating in the mind, and you never know how important it is to hear or see until you lose it.
Right.
So I'm talking to you out of experience, and it's not about hearing anything, it's about knowing. And he said to Moses that he was going to speak to him, and he did. God spoke to him face to face, and he turned again to the camp, but his servant Joshua was gone. Now here's another part over here I'm going to read to you. Moses was standing before the burning bush on the Mount Sinai. And this, in the 10th verse of the 4th chapter, it said something. It said this. And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am. See, he said, I am. Now, whether Moses understood this or not, I am means I am everything. I am not in everything. I am everything that I am in. Hot dog. That's the latest in the tomato sandwich there. Okay. I am not eloquent, neither therefore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant. But then he's going to say it again. I am slow of speech and a slow tongue. Now listen to this. Every time Moses used the word I am, he's switching gears. He switched gears and jump right into consciousness of being everything that God is.
Yep.
And then he unplug himself and go back to telling about how slow he was in speech. When I talked to you about my ears, I jumped out of the gear of I amness, and now I go back. So, but let me tell you this.
That's good.
The truth of us, please hear it if you can. I have to make myself relax when I talk. Because it's not a trying to get anymore.
It's not.
And it's not you praying all the time and trying to get God's attention. It's not you reading the Bible and trying to find words that you can use the next time you see somebody to make them understand some experience that you've had.
And I'm glad you're talking about this. In myself, I don't go through a lot of rituals like you're talking about reading the Bible or praying or what all of that, but I can feel inside myself this tension.
Yes, ma'am.
That of I want to be different. That thought goes through me. I want to be different, and that's what you're talking about. That I want to be different is what you're saying. You don't have to be
just everyday Joe. I said something to a man one time. I said, God is just every Joe in the country. He said, no, but he ain't. He said, no. One thing I can tell you about Jesus, when I read this about Moses seeing him face to face, this lady sitting beside me, and the ones of you who have heard me for over 50 years, 35 years, whatever, I talk out of these experiences because I came along, and I'm jumping out of that I am state now. I came along in a time when Bible was one of them things that laid on the table, or they kept harrying and birth certificates.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know what that's for, but I thought I did, but they did. I got my mama a big old family Bible. And I tore it up, and she said I never brought it back before she crossed over. But let me tell you something. This information comes to you under an intense, actually experienced event that overwhelmed my emotions, my feelings, to the degree that it put me on a path that I've always partially been on, and that is I've always wanted to see Jesus in person. I come across here where Moses talked to him face to face.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that inside of Moses, when I look at the spirit, the eternal essence of us, every one of us have been inside and is still inside of every named being, whether saved in the Bible, hurt, mean, hateful, Pharaoh. We are the eternal essence in all and every last one of them.
Yes. And you were reading about the I am.
Mm-hmm.
And what passage are you in? You're in
I'm in
Exodus 4.
Exodus 4.
Well,
10.
if you go back to Exodus 3, hold that spot. I want you to stay right there. In Exodus 3 and 11, Moses said unto God, who am I? That's interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, certainly, this is what God said to him. I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee that I have sent thee. When you have brought forth the people out of Egypt, you shall serve God upon this mountain. And Moses said unto God, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me unto you, they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them?
Okay.
And this is what God said to him. And God said to Moses, I am that I am.
Okay.
I am that I am. And he said, this is what you should say to the children of Israel. I am have sent you. And you were saying in there, he was going back and forth from the I am.
Back and forth to union, oneness, and out again.
And then back into being just this human body, frail body and mind, and switching back and forth from the I am consciousness to being this little bitty me who's limited.
Small self.
Yes.
Moses didn't know. If he did, okay. We know it now.
Mm-hmm.
See, Jesus Christ was one of our names of essence, or description of our essence, if it's not a name.
Mm-hmm.
All the men in the Bible, the ones that are popular to us, essence was rolling down the highway through the pathless path to reveal to us now in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
When you put on the mind of Christ finally and let it stay.
Yeah.
Don't switch back and forth. Put your clothes on, take them off like Moses was saying. I am slow of speech. I can't. I don't know how.
I think we're quick change artists.
Yeah.
We can switch out of those clothes quick. Yeah. And there's another scripture in the New Testament that says, put ye on Christ and walk in it. And we do that, but then we take it off.
Go down in it's an old saying. Go down in the woods, find you a fresh pig, a square back end pig, and kiss him in the square and tell him that's the last time you're going to see yourself as a downcast pig, and it's the last time you're going to see yourself completely stuck in a false self-identity.
Yes.
Make it up now. Get ready for the big blast. You're going to say in your meditation state, I am everything that I am from Genesis to Revelation. And if it ain't in the book that say that I'm an other than I am, I'm going to change it right now.
We're going to be like Popeye.
Oh, yeah.
I am that I am.
No, he was a prophet. He prophesied.
He was
to
a prophet, yeah. Vincent
I
Crenshaw pointed that out to us years ago.
Yeah.
That Popeye was a prophet.
Yeah.
Jill's asking this question. Jesus came through 42 generations.
That's what they said.
Is this speaking of his essence in every ancestor?
It's talking about us.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
the
look,
essence that's in us as well. Yes.
What we're doing is esoterically moving in, claiming the territory that has never been lost. up, 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 up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's been a God game that played itself. We have
Mm-hmm.
never ever been
Mm.
lost.
Never ever been lost.
Your book will tell you that if you're a bookie. The prodigal son left and he was never lost except for what his mind told him when he was out there in the street, in the world, in the pigs.
Not only that, but his father never even held judgment against him for taking his money and squandering it. He never did that.
He didn't.
He never held judgment against him.
The boy didn't know it, but what God fixed will never and can never be reneged on.
So we can't ever be disowned.
I'm sorry.
No.
If you want to start out being saved, start out with the baptism of the Holy Spirit, start out with the tongue, start off with church, brick and mortar, start off in the Methodist holiness, Jehovah's, whatever you want to call it your business. That'd be just one channel God will use. Yeah. I'm telling you now, that ain't the beginning of you, and it never will be the end of you. Yes. Because you have been sitting on the throne with God. The book says seated in the heavenly places. You are seated. You're seated, meaning you are resting. Do you know you don't never ever have to pray again for asking God for anything and it'll automatically be taken care of? But what about those times I wasn't saving out there in the street? I didn't ask God for that smack upside the head from my teacher. Yeah, but you had to have it. You woke up, didn't you? You got your lesson done. This is the key, the clue. Somebody took this thing in the book and translated like everybody that come in this world is lost.
And you know, I've said this before, but in the original Judaic religion, the Jews were never taught that they were born lost. Okay. They were never taught that. They were only taught that they were born in the image of God. They were never taught this doctrine of sin. That was not how they began their lives. Now, but most of us in the West particularly have begun our lives hearing that we were sinners from the time we were born.
Staying present is what you're talking about.
Sinette says, well, lately when I just focused on staying present, miracles happen.
Yes.
Like today when driving.
Hold that point. Okay. Miracles don't happen, honey. What happens is the lid over the eyes open a little bit more. The veil over the eyes open, and you see the miracle
that is already present.
Look, miracles are following you around, holding on to your coattail, trying to get your attention from the fact that it's called. We have this thing that said, "I need a miracle. I want to try to get it." No, you don't have to try. Like you just said, the presence of miracles is already happening.
When she was staying present.
Yeah.
That's when she saw it.
Staying present or not, didn't stop or start. You just turn around and look, and there it
I want to finish reading it.
Yeah,
it sounds really interesting.
It is. Go ahead, baby.
She says, like today, when driving horse wagon with my parents. See, we're getting a whole visual about this because I can't even imagine you driving a horse wagon.
Oh, Lord,
we just had a nice time enjoying the trip.
Yeah, yes, I like this. I think that's pretty.
Yes, the trip evolved from small conflicts, chatter between my parents to just being and nice chatter.
Look at you.
Long time since I saw my mother smile so gentle. Yes. Just a small, humble example that stays in my heart. Oh, that's beautiful.
That Samantha. Is a good one.
That's beautiful,
baby. Can I tell you something? I saw your horse wagon and who was driving it was Christ Jesus, who was you and your parents communicating with each other with God face to face.
Yeah.
The distance between you and God was in its manifested form, but it was hid under a veil that causes the mind and the ego to think about parents. I know you know this, baby. I know you know it. You know this, but I just thought I just messed with a little bit with you because it's a happy saying that you got there. It's a joyous experience to realize what you already know. And I know.
And it's interesting because sometimes our mind, when we say miracles, our mind goes to something grandiose. But the miracle was the chatter, the conversation, and the smile.
Yes, that was God. Now,
that was the miracle.
in the church, we always say, do everything in Jesus' name. Well, we done found out the true definition of that is doing everything, seeing yourself in oneness with God and no more separation. I'm trying to get you to sit at the table.
It's not a spiritual experience.
No, you know it.
It's just a knowing.
You're gonna have, God ain't gonna keep you on the bottle. He gonna put you a glass out there and say, drink the thing. And Miss Sinette, you drunk it, and you are now drunk on the presence of God, and you are now filled with the awareness, whether there be bells and whistles, ringing bells and slamming doors. You know, whoo, God Almighty, I just popped right there. You know that you are in the right place. And let me tell you something else. Once you see this, you'll see that here it comes. Not nary one of us on this earth has ever been lost except for the big lie.
That's it.
The biggest lie could ever be told has been that you are separated from God
and I dare,
in the womb.
Yeah, I dare say that the miracles have been happening all around us, but we have not noticed them.
Thank you very much.
Because we're looking for something grandiose. We miss the very simple things that are happening around us where we can see God in motion. And I remember talking to Laverne the other day, and she was saying the same thing. She's beginning to see God in how attitudes and thought patterns are changing, and not so much in a big.
That's the clue. That's
big healings and situations changing and all of, but that is situations changing.
Here's Moses again. He done jumped unplugged from his I am state. He said this. God, tell me something, man. If I go before this boss man, the judge, and tell him that I done had a face-to-face conversation with you, he gonna think I done lost my marbles. He said he ain't gonna believe me. Besides, he would not even hearken. He wouldn't even pay. He wouldn't get, his little nerve wouldn't get upset with me asking him. But for the Lord's sake, the Lord said this. He said, Moses, I'm gonna show you when you standing there by visible fact that I am with you.
Yeah.
As you.
Yeah. Now, I just had an aha. So when you talk about going from the I am back to the me who is limited and confused or whatever, the little conditioned me, you're talking about a divided mind. It's a divided mind. 1 minute we're that in our conscious thinking, and then the other minute we're something totally different.
God told Moses, I will be the words in your mouth. Don't think because there's a foul-mouthed person on the job beating and banging on people's ears that his cussing and anger, watch this, is strong enough, potent enough to make the eternal essence of God leave him. If God ever leaves our bodies, the body will stop.
Yes, exactly.
I don't care if his name is Dirt Brown. I don't care if it's Dirt Automo, Dirt Mo, Skid Mo Jr.
Besides the one who is on the job that's cussing or whatever,
any case,
the one that's making you so disturbed, the one that's doing that, the one that's playing the role of the adversary is there to cause you to understand that you are not the one that's disturbed. You're not the one disturbed.
I remember one time when I was working in R.J. Reynolds, I was in the factory, and this is kind of a humorful thing to me. I was in the men's restroom, and this boy come in there. I've been working with him for years. All of a sudden, he went to cussing me out. But he didn't cuss me. He cussed my mama out, too. he
I
said,
don't know why we always bring our mamas
yeah,
into it.
he
But
cut, and I didn't say nothing to the man. I didn't know nothing. He just come in that little bitty string bean thing, come in there. Your mother, so and so mother, MF, and all that. I just listened at him. I just listened, and I backed up from him.
don't say what you said.
No, I'm gonna tell you what I said.
I know what
I
you
said,
said.
if you say that again, I said, I'll knock you down in the floor. I think he almost peed on himself. But anyway. And I just turned around and walked out. I was cool as a tater. I was tater cool. And I said that was the end of it. I have learned. Let me tell you another one.
Okay.
And it's based on I am now. I'm coming down Main Street here in Kernersville. There's a sign that says no U-turn, and I come across the intersection stoplight, and this Hispanic guy was in this little bitty whoopty truck, turned right in front of me, and in my Jeep, I had to gradually stop fast, and I blew my train horn at him.
Oh my God!
Now that train horn will scare Superman out of his kryptonite.
Yeah.
And I went on up to the next stoplight and pulled up beside him and stopped. He rolled his window down. And when he rolled it down, I didn't look at him directly. I saw him out of the corner of my eye. I just act like I didn't hear him. He cussed me out in Spanish. I knew it was a cuss in Spanish. He said, "You're so-and-so, you mother."
And he threw his finger up.
And he threw his finger up at me, and I turned and looked at him. I said, "I got your license number."
And
he said, "I don't give a
it's kind of the same thing happened to me. I was pulling out of an intersection, and there's this guy. He was driving fast already, and when I pulled out, he had to slow up for me. He didn't want to slow up, and so when I got parallel to him, I had my windows up, but he was just cussing. And I looked at him and I said, he sped off.
Oh, Lord,
and then for a brief moment, my mind said, he gonna come back to get you.
hey, and I said about something said to the self, said, you better watch him. He gonna peg your house number where you stay. Come on. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I am absolutely amazed that when I look over the things that we've been through, I remember when the Lord began to introduce himself to me as somebody sleeping in my bed with me. Now, this should be normal for everybody to see. Now, you got millions of people.
Only grace will allow you to see.
We got millions of people, and some of y'all on board here will talk about how God was in you. Or with you. And the next minute, the stoplight turned red, and you got it on a high trail going fast as you can go in your car, and you have to stop, or somebody in front of you, and you got the caution light on, and you can't get over because they blocking you. They don't understand the emergency you might be in. I was in this situation, and I have seen the anger of I said, I'm going down the highway with my flash. I'm going to the VA hospital to see my dad, emergency. I put the flashes on my Land Cruiser, and the lady in front of me just stayed right there and wouldn't let me through. And when I went around her, she threw the finger up at me. Now,
these things happen all the time.
Yeah.
These kinds of things happen all the time.
Yeah.
You may go to a store and somebody will be really rude to you. This is always available to us. So we must transcend this type of thing. Now, Buzz brings this up. We've got to move forward with. He says, we tend to think bodies have consciousness, but they don't. Consciousness has bodies. Everything exists inside or from the mind of God. That's good, Buzz.
Yeah.
That's good.
Leslie, there was a time when a bus driver pulled up to a stop and run the stoplight, and I blow at him. And during that time, a bus driver carried guns in the bus, and I had my gun in the dashboard. And no sooner I blew at him, and he looked at me, and I took my gun out. When I hit the dashboard like I was going to take it out, he hit his dashboard too. And I said, well, I better get on out the way. That's going to be gunfight at OK Corral.
That's right. It's about to be a gunfight.
I'm telling you now I got an old running buddy that used to run around with. His daddy made time for a fight and a shooting at a man on a bus. He got off the bus, shot. I think he shot a man. George, shot a man. Wasn't you, George? Dion, another guy.
So the triggers are going to always be
everybody got it. Look, I know some people. You trying to fast and pray to get God to do something. Let me tell you what the I am state is. The I am state. Now you got to have a taste in your mouth for this.
Okay.
If you don't, you're gonna really get a chance to get the taste. The I am state is this: God is in everything. Now I ain't trying to discern what He is and what He's not.
That's without feeling God. That's without having an altered state.
The minute you relax, to the I amness.
I wrote here, and I didn't know you were going to talk about this morning, but I have this on my notes, and I didn't realize we were going to even mention this today. But it says, when the I am and the God is becomes in your mind indistinguishable, then something happens. You then know without a trace of doubt that God is, because you are. You are because God is. The two are one.
That's right. We were born in the physical world, body-wise, in order for the infinite beingness that we always have been, get inside that body. We had to downsize in our essence of physicality.
Yes.
As a seed, we went in and got inside of my mama, your mama.
And we came subject to the limitations of these bodies.
Right. That's right.
We did.
And we are now stretching out.
Expanding. Our consciousness is expanding.
That's right.
We got another comment, if you don't mind. Sean, hey, Sean. She says, I've been experiencing moments throughout my day, a sense of gratitude and peace.
Yes.
I consider those to be mystical experiences. Mystical experiences don't have to be grand. Yes, and they aren't usually. They usually are not.
Here's the definition of a part of a mystic. In spirituality, they see the esoteric definition experiences what is going on in everything. A mystic is a one that sees by revelation, and I can go into it. Other week I had something I was going to talk to you about in the mystic area, but I didn't get a chance to it. Mystics are those that have found out in the eternal self that they are in everything as God is. They have the ability to communicate with nature, and that's really the mystic. I remember a lady said one time out in the woods, she's standing in front of a bush. She said, if God is in everything, and if God is in you, as a tree or a limb, touch me on my back. Well, now, the way she said it, I believe I'd have done number 2 or number 1 at the same time. The limb reached out and touched the lady on the arm. Now, most church folks say that's the devil. The devil is like, that ain't got nothing to do with this.
I admire the fact that it touched her, but I don't think I want to touch it.
Well, what she did, she sent another friend out there in the woods and told her what to say. She went out there and said the same thing, and the limb touched her too. Now, in my business of upholstery and recovering chairs in my young days, they brought a chair in and it had the strongest odor on it. I think the fabric was eat off of it by the scent.
Yeah, it was bad.
I was in the basement part of the house where we work on stuff like that. And I thought I had ordered 6.5 yards of fabric, which is the average sofa would take during that time. And I had to bring these sofas in up on my back by myself. But here's what happened. One thing I had to do in order to get this to work is that I had to get that smell out of my basement. I opened the door and said to it, you stinking thing, You get off of this furniture and leave this dwelling place. Open the door and kick them out. Next thing I run into, the fabric, when I'm working on the arm, I come up short when you get
but
print
now
material.
Before,
hold on.
Before you go that far,
Okay.
did the smell go?
Oh, yeah. I ain't had no more trouble with it.
Okay.
Well, here I am fixing the arm. Now,
we should have used that when baby girl got sprayed by that skunk.
You ain't lying, boy. That's something. You ever had a dog get sprayed by a skunk? You smell him on the highway when you drive over one. It stink. Here we are, Brother Gerald now. I looked at this cloth and I cut it too short. And I laid it on the arm and I couldn't get it to arm. I took my hand just like Elijah the prophet took the mantle of the clothing that his mentor had facing the Jordan River. The Lord God was with Elijah. He took his mantle and struck the waters. If Moses took a staff and opened it, Elijah said, I can take a piece of cloth and open it. Yeah. And if they took those objects and opened the Red Sea, you can take the object of your identity and open every door that may be closed in your life. I said, I took that piece of cloth and I raised up and I hit it. I said, wham, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, I command you to grow. I stood there and looked at it. It started moving. Now, I ain't scared. I ain't scared at all. I want the cloth. I said, wham again, and it went. And it stripped it. I took it and put it around. I cut it too short. Looked like I cut it too long. It started growing on. I've seen arms and legs grow out under the same authority. And some of you have been around me to see it. Yeah. And I ain't talking about setting somebody down in the chair, measuring their leg, and then pull it and switch it, pulling gimmicks. What I would do if I set them down in the chair, I let somebody else hold the feet and see for themselves whether it's short or longer than the other. And I said, you hold it. And I said, I'll command it right here, standing beside you without touching it. Yeah. What they didn't know, I transferred the awareness. Mm-hmm. The legs start growing out anyway.
I've seen that happen, and then when it happened, the person that was holding the legs would drop them and say, "I didn't do that."
Listen, he said, "Go, you do, you work it." When you wake up to the go ahead.
You're going back to some things we learned early on.
Yeah, early.
When you were more audacious, yes. I say you were very audacious. Audacious. Yes. Audacious. You were very fearless at the time. Very fearless at the time. Yes. And Tanita said she remembers that.
Yeah.
You were very fearless, but you're going back to a principle that we learned years ago by an author by the name of Watchman Nee.
Yeah.
He had a book called Sit, Walk, Stand.
Yeah.
So you do all of this from a seated position.
Rest position.
Yes. You start off with a seated position and knowing who you are positioned. And then the walk stage is when you begin audacious. You're just audacious and fearless, and you just go for it. But then there's the standing. And in the walk stage, I need to say
Sit,
this.
Walk, stand.
In the walk stage is where you apply yourself.
Yeah. Effortless.
You apply what you know.
Effortless.
You apply yourself. But then in the stand stage is when you just watch it, see it done.
Ain't it enough of God in you as you in others? Ain't it enough for you to relax, let your hair down, and just go at it full blast? Tear your reverse out going forward.
Now, this is the thing. Now, you remember when Jesus was on the cross and they said to him, "Physician, heal thyself."
Yes.
Some of us, not all of us, but some of us are in the stage of our egoic crucifixion.
Yes.
When we're in that stage of our egoic crucifixion, you will not be able to speak a word and change your situation.
That's right.
You will not be able to pray and change your situation. You will not be able to have everyone else praying for you and change your situation. You must allow that ego to die.
That's
and
right.
I am fully aware that where we are right now is not because we're powerless.
Mm-hmm.
You and I,
Mm-hmm.
in our
Mm-hmm.
physical
Mm-hmm.
challenges,
Mm-hmm.
it is not because you're powerless.
That's right.
None of you who are having physical challenges or any other kind of challenge is not because you are powerless.
Yes.
It's because that ego identity must die.
That's right. I took a piece of bread. We talked about it when he said Jesus multiplied the fish and the loaves. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Something very simple things that you know that was done in the book and you heard about it. To me, it's the hardest thing to do. So it takes a muscle, it takes a strength in the solar plex area for you to push through some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in the front room and I got me a loaf piece of bread. My mind said, "You done lost it, man, boy. You silly as Daffy Duck."
And I lived with it for 53 years.
I laid that piece of bread down in the floor and I said, "I command you to multiply."
I'm cleaning the house and I get up and I'll go in the living room.
Uh-oh.
And I see a pie pan in the middle of the floor with a slice of bread. And I'm thinking, what is this? What is this?
Oh, yeah.
Then it dawns on me.
Oh, yeah.
My husband is trying to multiply bread.
Well, we end up going to the store and buying. Hey, we end up going to the store and buying a loaf. That's all that counts.
Right. But these challenges that we face are there for our evolution. So that's what we understand that every situation will not change because of our evolution. It's for the focus and the design of our evolution. So but I see so much strength.
Yeah.
When you go through these challenges and you have to transcend them on the spot. That's more, that to me says you're more powerful than a tool. What do you call it? More powerful than a locomotive.
Yeah, every tall building will sing about.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman.
It's JC. Hey, it ain't nothing to it but to do it.
And how many times have we seen the strength of the humans, of the spirit of a man and woman or child, when they go through a crisis that they cannot pray away or cannot speak away, cannot believe away?
Yes.
That those that overcome those challenges, and not so much overcome them in the sense that they're gone, but they overcome them. They don't allow the challenges to stop them from being who they are. And that's just magnificent to me.
You are looking and hearing the Lord speak to you in everything that happens. You don't have to be religious anymore. You can let your hair down. I saw this guy uptown one time. I was uptown riding through town in Winston-Salem, and I kind of looked at, he's by the court. I think they should have took him to court for doing like this. They probably just drove by with the light on and put him in their car. He looked like he's about 7 feet tall. He had a big belly. He probably hadn't seen his toes in a long time. And his other parts too. So anyway,
I think I was with you. I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. He was walking and he had his head lung back like that, and that Stetson hat on. He's walking, and suit was dark, and
his shirt was buttoned up.
Shirt was buttoned.
It was kind of tight.
Yeah, it was tight. It was busting, like each button was straining, and I'm in the car ducking. Because when one of them buttons pop, he's gonna pop my windshield.
Yeah.
And he had that thing up there, and his belly was.
And the t-shirt it rolled up above his belly. It was funny.
I said, "Go ahead on, Reverend. Go ahead on." I didn't say that, but I was telling that.
Yeah. So every crisis then is there to expose the power that we are. That's the thing.
Hey, I was in a barbecue place, and
you're going on all these stories.
Yeah, I was in a barbecue place, and I was getting ready to check out. And these two ladies was in front of me, and I'm standing there waiting, and they just pitter-patted around. And this lady on my right side got real restless. She's just a wiggling and a waggling and cabbing. I looked at her, I said, "What the world's wrong with her?" I found out what it was.
What?
She had gotten a mailbox, and she stuck her hand right there in the restaurant, down in her britches, and was letting the mailbox go free. And I looked at it and I said, "Get out of there!"
Now that's not even relative to what we're talking about.
But now we're talking about I am now.
You're just having
God
fun. You're just
having fun, but
yeah.
God in everything.
Yeah.
A humorful side of you can look in the presence of opposition and laugh at it and change
You
it.
sure can. Let's see what they're saying now. Sinette says, seeing the truth of my brother's divinity and insist of seeing gets the juice flowing like a lava eruption.
Yes.
Nothing can really stop the natural flow
No.
to balance the body, and in an instant the body. Yes.
I'm going to tell the boss man to give you a raise, honey.
Hey, Cheryl and Gary.
Oh,
Cheryl
Lord.
says,
Come out.
listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cheryl says, good medicine this morning, y'all. And Sinette comes back, says, don't allow the challenges to stop you from being who you are. And are you listening?
Yes, I hear
He's
you.
making love to baby girl over here.
She's my girl.
What Sean said, she says, now that's stability.
Come on.
Not allowing challenges to change who we are. We know who we really are when the challenges come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's not listening.
I hear you.
No, he's not listening.
We know.
He's playing with the dog.
We know.
Oh,
we got it. Baby girl, we got it, don't we?
You're just making her
girl.
more and more spoiled.
I know it. She come over to talk to me, and I had to talk to my girl. But the challenge to change is in the way we look at things.
It's always.
We are ready. You know what? Let me say this to you.
I like what Sean said. She said, that's stability.
Our nervous system is being set up to see and handle all the fullness expressions of the glory of God. Already, it's in our presence. It is our presence. And we are ready to see and experience without any sensation the facts of reality. God is our true self. Holy Spirit is the real us.
Yes.
And you don't have to try to prove it. But God gave Moses some signs. And this is what is called the ability of the spirit man.
But you remember there's another scripture that also says that a wicked generation is the ones that seeks a sign. So we don't have to have evidence.
No.
You don't need to live by evidence. You live by your knowing.
Yes.
And that's what we've learned over our 70 some years. You live from your knowing, and not from evidence, not from things you see that convince you. Your faith and your allegiance has nothing to do with the evidence that you have happening in your lives.
Oh, God say, I double dog dare you. Tell God you don't want him no more in your life. See what happened. He ain't going nowhere. Tell God to stop blessing you. He ain't going to stop. Tell God to stop moving in your life. He ain't going to stop.
He won't.
Tell God to go somewhere and sit down.
He can't because it's you.
That's right.
It's you.
That's right. You hear what you said.
Let's see what else is being said. Now, don't get caught up on baby girl.
Look over that. Look
oh, you see that puppy?
Yeah.
All right.
Puppy.
All right. Here we go. Look.
Now, I got to work, baby.
Jill says the sacredness inherited in everyone is awesome.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Inherited in us. That's great.
But really a lot of us, the majority of us, don't know what we've inherited. That's the thing. And then here we go. Another, hey, Judy Jew. She said, just arrived. What this is saying to me is that I give everything all the meaning it has for me. What meaning do I choose to give this event or this circumstance or this memory? I choose a loving purpose. Very good. Very good.
You came, you gave. You've been given ever since. But who is it? It's easy when you understand the flow.
Yes.
The flow of God. Sugar pie, honey bunch. In love with you and can't help myself. This stuff is more potent than kryptonite with Superman. Well, matter of fact, Superman now can take the kryptonite and put it on a plate and cut it up and eat it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
But you made me forget what I was going to say.
That's all right. It's good. It happened anyway.
No, I know what I was going to say. I know what I was going to say.
You look at this. Well, you look at this.
Baby girl just went under the table.
She
And-
just come up under the table now.
Like
I'm
I'm gonna get your attention. I don't care what you think.
Baby girl.
Okay. But what I
Okay.
was about to say was this. I am grateful that we have this platform
Yes.
and we're able to still communicate with those of you who are in our spiritual community and others. Because at this point in your life,
Yes.
the challenge of being in a building with people would be difficult.
It would be.
And so this has been given to us to use and to still communicate that you are out to people and to benefit them. And it helps us as well. When we talk with you guys, it helps us. A lot of times it causes us to switch back over into that I am.
Yeah.
And it takes us out of the challenges. And so I like where you went with that today. That was good.
Yeah.
That was very, very good. You guys, we've been here almost an hour, so I'm going to. What is Oliver asking me? He says, "Hey, Ollie, is the mailbox symbolic of the ego? The mailbox?
Mailbox? You mean the black box?"
No, he's talking about when you mentioned the mailbox. I guess about the lady who had. She had a wedgie. That's what she had.
Oh yeah, I was talking about
that was his terminology.
Yeah, she had a wedgie. I said she went down a mailbox. Yeah, I got different little words. I say she went down in the back of her seat of her pants, and in the restaurant she did that. I mean, publicly she did that, and she did that. I said, "Oh, you better get out of there. Something gonna bite your finger." So
Sandra said she loves seeing Baby Girl come on and see. Well, Baby Girl's just gotten a mind of her own.
She's right here now with her head down. Hey,
she actually has started to decide what she wants to do and what she's not going to do, and to the tune of not walking when I want her to walk, and she's just got her own thing going here. Got her own thing going. And there's Leslie. Hey, Leslie also.
Leslie Lee.
She's also understanding the strength in us. Yes. And Sissy says we never cease being I am. That's true.
You know, I like that.
Yes.
Little girl, I might just give you a dollar bill.
Then she says, you always want to move on fast. I'm still reading this.
Okay, go ahead.
We never cease being I am. Yes, seeing past the clouds of circumstances and challenges is the stability.
Yes.
We are the honey that things stick to. Oh, I like that. We're the honey that things stick to.
I remember, baby, one time when we was little boys, girl down under that red hill where we used to live. When you remember that part, we found a tree trunk down there, had nothing but honey in it.
Yeah.
And we went down there and we got bottles and jars. Said, we like the little rascals, you know. We got them jars and we said, we can get this honey and sell it. Oh, what a mess it was. We went down there and took our hands and put that honey in the jars. Come back home and I had honey from the top of my head to the root of my tutor. And it was a mess. But we had honey at the house. I know that. Didn't sell none. But that's the way it was. The honey in the tree. Now, in the Bible, it showed where Samson killed the lion. And I think it said it went back and got honey out from the part of the lion. That's the lion coming together, the sheep and the lion coming together. With
the
no
lion and the lamb.
Lay together, the lamb and the lion. Yes. And we are now walking in that place.
Now, I like what Sinette says. Thank you so much for this, Sinette. She says, I noticed that each time you are on my mind goes silent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I noticed that each time you are on, my mind goes silent. And a funny mood comes on.
Funny? Tell us more about that move, baby. We need to get you to get online with us and talk about that, because that sounds good. You know what? I used to sit down at the table with my uncle in the mornings, and he'd be eating. He used to take that honey and pour it on this plate, then put some butter in it and mash it up. You talking about a honey of a deal?
Yeah, Sinette, a lot of times before we go live on here, we're not in a comical mode at all.
No,
But our mood lightens up as well when we come on.
Yeah,
it really
yeah.
does. And
Now that's just the way I do things. I just carry it on like it's just real,
yeah,
and it is.
And it is. It is.
I
Real.
asked Jesus one time. Y'all heard me talk about him. He was standing there looking at me and the wife at the same time. I said, "Are you a black man or a white man?" He answered me.
Then you couldn't see whether he was or not.
Couldn't tell by looking at him.
Why was that?
Because he's neither black or white.
He had a universal color.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
He did. And you know what? One of the revelations I found about Jesus when I looked at his eyes, I bent down to look at him because the reason why I did, he had bowed his head to a certain point, and I kept wondering why did he bow his head so I couldn't see. And I was bowing my head, so everything I would do, he did everything I do. If I raised my head, he did that too.
That was our first indication of being one with Christ.
Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm. It was.
Very first. But thank you, Jill, so much. She always posts in the comment section how to give. And I always forget until I see her do that. And thank you, Jill. She's always on top of things with that. She's such a brilliant intellectual person. Thank you, Jill, for being here and helping us with this. So you guys, take time right now. If you're on a computer or on a phone, go ahead and hit the like button. Even if you're on TV, you should be able to go to where it has this little thumbs up and hit that and hit the like button for us. That helps to move us up the list so that when people are searching for spiritual content, they'll find us and we'll have a lot more people joining our
Well, now this ain't the last of the Mohegans. We're going to be back here again on Tuesday night at 7.
Yeah, but before you get into that, I want you to also take the time right now to give. Take the time to give, to send something to the church. You can either go to the website, which is thecornerstonelifecenter.com, or you can text it to CLC Greensboro to 73256. I've never done that, so I don't know how to do that. But anyway, paypal.me/cornerstone35 is another way you can do it, or you can mail it in to P.O. Box 36259, Greensboro, North Carolina, 27416. And to bless Pastor and myself, we love you so much for doing that. The Cash App, $A Sawyer C.
And we appreciate you. Some of y'all got my personal address. We appreciate everything that you send in the mail to us. It's a blessing of God. And you know what? It always comes just at the right time.
And even if you send it to the P.O. Box Greensboro number, Laverne will make sure that we get it. And don't forget to please be in prayer for Laverne and her husband, who's still in the hospital. Johnny's still in the hospital, and they're working on him, and he's still recovering.
I need to tell her what I saw. The other day,
you're telling Laverne?
Yeah.
Oh, this is for Laverne personally. Yes.
The last experience I had with your husband in the vision, I was at the side of him and he was laying down, and I was praying in the spirit for him and talking the mysteries of God out about this situation and about his life. So everything is tallying up to where I know and see God still in his life, Laverne. You're a miracle blessing of God to us, and we thank you so much for being on earth again.
And she's seeing so many miracles.
Yes, she has.
She's really seeing miracles happen. And like Sinette said, nothing grandiose, but still it's a miracle, and they're grandiose in their own right. It's just wonderful to see what's happening.
Thank you, Brother Blue, for the comment. Thank you so much, Miss Jill, and all the other little Jill hoppers.
Yes, Jill. Tell them to please like and love. And Sandra, thank you. She says, being on Cornerstone brings me joy and the highlight of my day. And Kim, thank you, sweetie, for being here. I think about you often, you and your mom and your sisters. Oh, hey, Jill, thank you for everything. And Brother Blue, thank you for great service today. All right, guys, we will be back Tuesday, Lord willing, and nothing happens.
And we'll talk some more of this mystery talk.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. And we'll be back at 7 p.m. We'll be back live and in color. In color.
You guys hold it down.
Bye.
Tie it down on both sides of the road and hold it in the middle.
Bye.